The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Blowing out of the backfield, exploding down the sideline.
This is Hangin' with the Boys, presented by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now, your hosts, Nate Newton, Kurt Daniels, Jesse Holley, and Shannon Gross.
Monday! You're looking live at Tostitos Championship Plaza outside Ford Center at the Star in Frisco, where it is 76 degrees. It feels like 76. The high is 86, and the low tonight is 68. Summer is almost here, boys.
It rained a little bit down south.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh. Nate will be calling in here shortly. He is on the road. We'll find out where Nate Newton is.
It's like Carmen San Diego.
I don't know what's going on with the headphones here. We can't hear each other in the studio.
Did you turn yours up?
Yeah.
I can hear you.
We can hear you.
I can't hear Jesse.
Oh, I can hear you guys.
Now I can.
All right,
I can't hear either one of you.
You got the biggest ears in here, and you can't.
There we go. We got some sound now.
There you
We're
go.
good now. We're good now. All right. Little rocky start here at the beginning. Sorry about that for everybody listening at home.
Little Mondays for
Yeah. Yeah. So, how come you're not wearing Kansas Jayhawk gear?
Because I'm a Tar Heel. No.
What happened here? I thought we had a friendly wager.
I ordered some championship gear and it hasn't arrived yet. And then I
So this is your fault.
yeah. It's my
Jesse was going to walk in here with hat in hand
yeah.
because he's a hat guy. Hat in hand, and he was going to wear your Kansas gear.
I know it. I don't.
And you don't even have any Kansas gear.
I had to order some, and
You don't have any Kansas
No,
gear.
that tells you how much of a fan
What a
he is.
fan
Well,
Kurt
my
is.
son stole a couple of T-shirts. I have the hat, which I forgot, and so I think I have one other ratty old T-shirt laying around. So yeah, I'm not loaded up on Kansas gear. To be
Heck of a
honest.
game, though. What was it like, Jess? What was the scene?
It was electric. 69,000 people in the Superdome for that game, and the first half we were feeling good. We were feeling good, man. The alum were there. We were taking pictures. Again, we're all like, "Oh, Burby's gonna be off the chain tonight. We're up 15, and our stars haven't even really turned it up yet." Like, we were feeling good. We were feeling good. And I remember we were taking a group picture, and I remember leaning over to Coach Williams, and I said the two things that worry me. I said halftime is the worst thing that can happen to us because one, I thought Armando Baycock's ankle was going to kind of tighten up, and it ended up hurting his ankle at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Then I said momentum.
Yeah.
I said they got a chance to. We were rolling, and they had no answer for us. Halftime gives you a chance to regroup, and Kansas came out with a game plan. They posted up Caleb Love. They got some, and then they went to their veteran guard Remy Martin, and he said, "I got it, coach." And he was talking he was talking
Trash.
Oh.
Was he really?
Oh, and I loved it. I loved it because whenever they went into a timeout, and whenever was called in the timeout, Remy Martin comes in and he gets the layup on the left-hand side, and he looks over at Bill Self and he said, I told you he can't guard me. I was like, and this is him telling his coach, like, you running for me again, and he went off. He went off in that second half, and they just. I thought, I knew the run was going to come. I thought we had enough points to kind of keep them at bay, and then
Deeper bench helped some too. I think that they really only had Carolina had one guy off the bench.
Yeah, we don't all year long we don't have a
And
bench.
he caught fire there for a little while, but he ran out of steam.
Jesse took it very well. He sent you congratulatory text.
Yeah.
I'm not a sore loser.
Yeah?
No, I'm not. I, like had something done been like they cheated or something like that. We were supposed to win the game. We blew it. We choked and lost a 15-point lead. Kansas never gave up. They played tough. So all I had to do was tip my cap to Kansas and Kurt and
Zip.
That's it.
So, Nate, where are you? What are you doing?
I'm in Hattiesburg, Mississippi right now, man. Just rolling back to Texas, man. Just rolling back.
Where have you been?
I've been to Jackson, Mississippi. Then I went to Orlando, Florida. Then I went to a little small town called Lottie, Florida. Then I went back to Orlando, Florida. And then I left Orlando. Now I got up this morning probably about 2 in the morning and started rolling back this way.
Wow.
This is how you know you're rich, when gas prices are at an all-time high.
Driving across country.
And you just and Nate's not like, we all know Nate. Nate's not driving because he has like this important business meeting, or he's afraid to fly, or something like happened where he had to be there right now. Like, Nate just gets up and drives just randomly. I'm sure he went to see his boy Dion.
Yeah,
right?
I left Wednesday at like 3 in the morning. Right now I got 2,078 miles on it.
Just
Unlike
like he
anybody
just
I've
goes
ever
and
known.
gets lunch. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll go to Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and get lunch.
How's
Gas is $9 a gallon.
How's
Nate's just going to get
Dion
lunch.
doing?
Dion doing great, man. He's about back walking normal, man, and everybody's doing great. But I went down to Orlando because we had this thing called Tiger Prize, Orlando Jones. And I think we're the only school where we had from the class of 65 all the way to the class of 2021. And, I don't think the 2022 class was eligible for the setup they can't. And we meet on this football field, and every class represent themselves by doing a little, thing. And then we had this big stage where we had a band playing, and we have DJs and stuff like that. And it's something we started back. We one of the few black high schools still existing. So we went through a whole lot. Our school is over 100 years old. So we do this thing every year, and it's called Tiger Pride. All come back, man. Just a lot of people meet from like 10 in the morning to 2 that evening, reminiscing, having a good time, doing our thing. I had to go back, so we went out and had fun. Huh?
Like a high school reunion then, huh?
Yeah, but it's a high school reunion for, like I say, normally I think we normally have from 60 to up to, but this time we have from 65 up to 2021. Yeah, just having fun, man. But I saw where you hit on there, Kurt, where they don't value offensive linemen like this new coaching staff. Don't value offensive linemen. That's a shame, because Dak going to pay for that. If they don't start valuing offensive linemen, by the time another 2 years, Dak will be seeing that. He will be feeling the effects of that.
Do you think The Athletic had a story, and they were talking about one of the things was.
There you go, Kurt. Way to reset this thing.
You set it however you want.
Way to reset this thing, Kurt.
I'm not a good loser.
Yeah.
With no offensive line, we're going to be bad losers, all right?
Well, I mean, I think part of their story was like McCarthy in Green Bay. They didn't spend a lot of high draft picks on linemen, where the Cowboys went through that run where 3 first-round picks, and Lyle was considered a first-round pick, so they really valued it. But not to say McCarthy doesn't value it, but he just approaches it differently. Do you not agree with how they approach it, I guess?
This is the deal. If Aaron Rodgers would have had my offensive line, he'd have won multiple Super Bowls. Where if we would have had Aaron Rodgers with this offensive line that Tony Romo had, that Tony Romo got and Dak inherited, they should have been the ones. If they would have been with Aaron Rodgers, they'd have won 3 Super Bowls, because they go hand in hand. They go hand in hand because now you can use all your weapons to its full effect. We won't have to be worried about it whether Amari got a diva quarterback or not having a diva quarterback. Everything will be running smooth if we had offensive line. We'll find out. Because evidently they're going to go to a heavy screen game. They're going to go to a heavy short timing game, because you know what? Man, I'm finna get on the road. Y'all have a good day. God bless y'all, and I'm gone.
It was funny. Did he hang up?
Yep.
Yeah. He hung up for real.
Yeah, he's done.
I'm out of here. He ain't got time for us.
He's the most random human being in the world. I don't know what just happened. Y'all have a good day. Goodbye.
He comes into a segment, never sets it up. Like, he literally goes from telling us about his experience back at his black high school the day they did the reunion, and then went right into another segment, never reset it, never introduced it. No, that's Nate.
And then left.
Just hung up.
Threw the match on the fire and just walked off.
But I was watching this weekend on NFL Network. There were two games. It was the Odell Beckham one-hand catch. What year was that? 2014? 2015, 16, whatever it was.
I don't remember.
And then I was watching the game we won in overtime. I think that was 2016. That was a young Dak. And the thing that I could not take my eyes off was the offensive line. And you looked, it was Tyron, and it was it Ron Leary and Travis Frederick and Zach Martin and Doug Free. And I mean, they just were mauling. DeMarco Murray was the running back in one game, and Zeke was the other running back in the other. And they just were mauling dudes, mauling. And to Nate's point, we always talk about games are won where? At the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Either you're dominating on the offensive end or you're dominating on the defensive end, but at the end of the day, you're winning the line of scrimmage. And no matter what you want your team to be, if that's a running team like they are in Cleveland and like they are in Tennessee, you need offensive linemen. If it's a passing team, you saw what Andy Reid and Kansas City Chiefs did after they got humiliated 2 years ago in the AFC Championship game. They went and said, if we're going to throw this thing around the park, I'm going to have to protect this kid better. Yeah. And so for anyone, any coach, and we're talking about our coach in particular, to not value a position that is not talked about, the glitz and glam doesn't come from the offensive lineman, but plays such a significant role in what you want to do. And especially when you have a quarterback who's coming off a year where we all felt like the second half of that season, he kind of almost had the yips. Like, couldn't just, and whether that be the calf injury, or later we found out he needed left shoulder surgery. But at the end of the day, he didn't look comfortable in the pocket. He didn't look comfortable. He didn't look confident. He didn't like a player that was saying, I feel no pressure when I drop back to passing. We also didn't get what we wanted from the running game. And I know they're going to say, people are going to say, whoa, Zeke did get another 1,000 yards, whatever. But that also was an issue. And all of those things come from your ability to be able to sustain blocks up front, whether that's passing or running. So if they're not going to look at this thing from the history of what Mike McCarthy is, and not address this thing offensive lineman or go best available, so on and so forth. I get best available. I totally get it. I'm not saying reach for a player, but best available and what you sorely need are two different things. And yes, there may be another player on that board that says, you know what? This receiver is rated higher than what we have at this guard or this center or this tackle, whatever it may be. But what you really need is not the receiver. It's not the tight end or the running back or the linebacker or the DB. What you need is to shore up and solidify your offensive line. So whether you take it seriously or not, it needs to be an issue. It needs to be a topic of discussion when heading into the draft, because if you don't, then your quarterback is going to be, like Nate said, your quarterback is going to feel the wrath of not having a secure offensive line. And you'll pay the penalty for it, not only with not being able to run the ball, not being able to pass the ball, but also penalties as well. Yeah. Because guys will be holding, guys will be jumping off sides, guys will be getting beat left and right. And so it's just a bad thing all the way around. And if you have an opportunity to address it and make it better, I think you should.
Yeah, that's, they're talking about there's going to be some guards available. The center, Lindenbaum, is that his name? Some wide receivers there, all available at 24. And I hope they go lineman instead of wide receiver. I mean, obviously there's going to be some talent there at receiver, but I'm with you. They got to shore up the line,
Agreed. I mean, I can't say anything other than I totally agree. Like, it's not sexy, and but if you think about it, I mean, how well when they've done it, Tyron worked out. Mm-hmm. Zach worked out.
Right.
Travis worked out. Like, these are three guys that, if health wasn't a concern, those are three, Hall of Fame guys,
Yeah, and the thing is, it's never going to be sexy to pick an offensive lineman. They're just not. They're never a sexy pick. There's never a
not selling the jersey.
They're not selling the jersey.
Selling the gear, the merchandise.
You're not putting them in front of people to talk. They're not the face of your franchise. They're not. They don't
want to do anything on social media.
No, and that's the nature of offensive linemen. They've been that way since they were in Little League. They just don't want the attention. They're just mauler. They want to go about their business. And even in today's social media world, most offensive linemen, 90% of them, don't want that attention.
Yeah.
They just want to go to work. They want to be natural protectors. That's what they've been born and bred to do, is to be natural protectors. And it's never going to. So if you're looking for the sexy pick, and you're looking for something that's going to be, you're going to be able to sell and market and put on T-shirts and put on hoodies and plaster all over the place, they're never going to be it at all. But the one thing that you do want to market and publicize and put on ticket stubs and have in front of people and all that kind of stuff is your quarterback.
Yeah.
You want him to be able to say, you want him upright. It's hard to market a guy who's standing on the sideline. It's hard to market a guy who's always getting picked up off the ground. It's hard to market a guy when the winning record isn't there. It's hard to market a guy when all those things aren't there because you decide to not to go with the so sexy pick and protect them up front. So, you want to market those guys. You want to market Tony Pollard and Zeke Elliott and put the 88s on Front Street and make that the popular thing. Then do the unpopular thing, the unsexy thing, and get the guys up front that you need to protect the most meaningful and the most expensive asset that you have on this football team.
I remember being at the 2014 draft party, and Johnny Manziel was sitting there, and the crowd was going bonkers. I mean, they're chanting his name. Even the announcers were playing it out. I mean, it's just crazy, And they picked Zach Martin, and you talk about the hair going out of the room. I mean, it was like a mass exit.
They
to the
cleared
door.
out, didn't they?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Worked out pretty good.
It worked out pretty
Yeah,
good.
you got rid of a guy who wasn't going to be a great talent, and you picked up a guy who's not sexy, but will be a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Who's literally has been, since the moment he stepped foot on the football field, has been the best player at that position. Right, 6-time All-Pro. It's not sexy.
If you go that route, though, I know we're not the draft show, but if you do go that route, would you, because there's supposed to be a lot of good offensive linemen in the first round, would you trade back and get some more collateral, or would you stay where you're at and just take the best lineman that falls to you?
Yeah, I always worry about trading back. Just because, I guess if you could get a third rounder, thrown in, it'd be good. And there's, you're only going back a couple spots, and one of those linemen. But to me, it's always a little dicey. It obviously worked out well for him last year. Traded back and got Micah, but
but you traded back and got Micah in the top 15 pick. If you're talking about trading back into the second and third round, because even. The thing about offensive linemen, and we have one in Nate, who is a guy who's not from a big school, who doesn't come from a big conference, and worked his way to 3 Super Bowls, 6, 7 Pro Bowls, all that kind of great stuff. But as you begin to get later and later and later in these rounds with offensive linemen, again, they're already a 50-50 chance if you get them in the first round.
Yeah.
So as you begin to go deeper and deeper into the draft, the likelihood of that particular offensive lineman or that pick in general becomes a little bit more dicey. So if I'm looking at a situation where I can get a guy that can come in and play right now and improve my football team right now from the offensive line standpoint, I got to seriously consider that. Because honestly, if we're talking about wide receiver, we're talking about running back, those are the guys who I can find in later rounds and make players. Those are the guys who may not come from the big conferences or have the big names that I can turn into players. I've seen more guys come in that way and turn themselves into really, really, really good players than I did the opposite way, where offensive linemen have come in from the smaller schools and made themselves perennial Pro Bowlers. So if I have to choose between a backer or a receiver or a corner opposed to that offensive line, I'd rather take the offensive line earlier. The pedigree to me is a little bit better than I would going into the later rounds trying to find offensive linemen.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't trade out of the first. But what would you do?
It probably depends on who's there, and if there's 2 or 3 guys that they think are equal value, I wouldn't trade out of the first. I'd maybe trade back 5 or 6 picks, but I wouldn't.
What I think could be interesting is there could be a couple guards there. It could be the Iowa center, Lindenbaum.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you take the center and then you still have a hole at then you'd have a rookie center and it's still a hole at left guard? Or do you take the left guard knowing, this is a guy that can be a first-day starter, plus you have a center that may not be the best in the world, but you got a center with some experience?
I go with the guard. Yeah. And the reason being is because I think, like, when you look at guards on either side, they're really the anchors of your defense. I mean, your offensive line, excuse me. Because if they can help either way, right? They can kind of help more a little bit on the inside. They can kind of help a little bit on the outside. And most guards, talking about position flex, right? The word that I kind of come into to hate a little bit, can probably play a little bit of center if necessary. But I just think that position is it's the one where when all of the stunts happen, they're coming back into where that guard is coming into, right? When you look at what this team wants to do when they're running those zone schemes and they're pulling those guards, you want to get those guys outside. So to me, a guard on either side of the center can help either way. So, like I said, if we're having some center problems and I got a really good guard, a la Zach Martin on the right-hand side, then he can help out a little bit either way that you see fit. So, like I said, if it's center, I can help a little bit with my guard on the inside. If it's tackle, I can help a little bit out on the outside with my guard. It's different when it's tackle, because the help there is really help inside and maybe a tight end or a back chipping outside. But overall, you're going to face that top defensive end all the time. Yeah. So to me, it's guard, especially when you have a center who is not the best, but has some experience and kind of you can work with that a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's take our first break. When we come back, 30 visits were last week. Talk about that a little bit.
Sure.
Talk about some other stuff when we come back on the next.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
Brace yourself for an existential question. Has your butt been having enough fun lately? Have you been treating it well? Has it been going places? If not, then it's about time you start using SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the best way to get your butt tickets to live events. Just ask the thousands of other butts who have rated it the #1 ticketing app. So what are you waiting for? Download the app now or visit SeatGeek.com to get tickets to sports, concerts, and live events and make your butt happy. SeatGeek. Get your seat in a seat.
It's game day. You know what that means. First, kebab prep. Steak, pepper, onion, steak, pepper, onion. Next, a counterclockwise lap around the room. Now the lucky grease-stained jersey goes on. And lastly, the dance. You know the one. This is a game day ritual no matter where you are. Whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com and keep the tradition alive and well. Hotels.com, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
At AT&T, everyone, new and existing customers, get our best deals on every smartphone. Why? Because you deserve it. For turning your living room into your office and your gym. For teaching grandma how to video call and teaching her again.
It's the button on your left, Nana. Okay, your other left.
It's not complicated. Everyone deserves something new. So AT&T is giving everyone, new and existing customers, our best deals with every unlimited plan on every smartphone, even the latest ones.
AT&T may temporarily slow data speeds if the network is busy. Restrictions and exceptions may apply.
Back to Hangin' with the Boys.
Welcome back to the People Show, sponsored by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. And let me tell you, well, I'll tell you what, Kurt, why don't you tell us about the Star Magazine Draft Edition?
2022 Dallas Cowboys Draft Guide is now available both digitally and online. We've got our man Kyle Yeomans did amazing work. He did amazing work with scouting reports, comprehensive, broke down the pros and cons, and did overviews and
That is disgusting.
all kinds of stuff. We got Dave Elman's mock draft. We got
can't unsee that.
In-depth story on Will McClay. Go to DallasCowboys.com/star. You can get your print copy or digital copy. It's also available at the pro shops here locally and regional outlets like Walmart. And Jesse's definitely excited about it.
Trailer Park Holly over there.
Trailer Park Holly. So, yeah, Dallas Cowboys Draft Guide, DallasCowboys.com/star.
Go get you one. How much is the Star magazine?
You can get it on the newsstands for $9.95, I believe.
$9.95. What a deal.
What a deal. What a
Y'all
deal.
do a great job on that thing, man.
You guys do, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Is there another draft guide out there? Do any other teams do one?
Well, team specific, not that I'm aware of. I mean, there's some other, like Dane Brugler with the Athletic. He does an amazing one.
Beast.
Yeah, he does a great job. And there's some others out there, but I think we're the only team specific one.
Gotcha. Before we get back into it, we lost a couple of great ones in the Cowboy world. You know, Dwayne Haskins obviously happened over the weekend, and then last week, Rayfield Wright passed away. What was Rayfield,
76, 78?
I think that's right. Yeah.
And then one of my favorite coaches that's ever been here, one of the nicest guys, most energetic, fun-loving guy, Gary Brown.
Did you have a lot of interaction with him?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. He was one of the guys that always spoke to everybody. You know, always spoke to me. I'd sit down with him on the bench before the game, and we had like a bit, and I would be like, "What's the game plan, Coach?" And he'd be like, "Run the rock, baby, run the rock. Go run the rock, then we go run the rock some more." And I'm like, "All right, man." I remember he one time before a game, Montel Jordan, huge Cowboys fan.
This is how we do it.
He brought his sons to the New Orleans game, and I was able to get him sideline passes before the game, and they were over there. You know, I was talking to him, and I think Jerry came over and shook hands with him, and then I brought him over to meet Gary, and Gary gave one of his sons a football before the game, and then his other son walked up, and he's like, So he walked over and got another football, gave him another football. I was like, man, I hope they don't run out of balls. You only get a certain amount. So, but that's just the kind of guy he was, man. He was just always super nice and would talk to anybody, and you know, he was a great dude. So, hate that. Young too,
52.
Yeah.
Man,
very young.
Pray for his wife Kim and his 3 children. He has 2 daughters and a son.
Yeah.
So it's tough, man.
What was he battling? Cancer, right?
Yeah.
And then I heard he was getting better. So this kind of surprised me.
Yeah.
You know, he was coaching up in Wisconsin. Yeah.
And it's always, you know, death is always hard. But when it's someone that you know has so much life, and has touched so many people, not just in, you know, athletically, but just the person that he is. And I'm always thankful for people when you start to tell the story of their life, like we all know him as a player and a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But when you hear all the great things before they get to he was a player or he was a coach, and you just hear the kind of human that he was, you know, that's always the positive thing of it. And I pray again for his family and for his children, because this is a very difficult time for them.
Mm-hmm.
to have someone with so much life and
so much left.
That's what I'm saying. Relatively speaking, 52, like
getting close.
Young.
I'm close, but I'm not. You know, it's tough, man. It's also a eye opener that life is so unpredictable and it's so precious, and that to not miss those moments. To not miss those moments, like sometimes, you know, work is not that important.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. And you know, when it's like, you know what, I have to work, or should I go spend time with my family? I got to work, or should I have that moment with my friends? I got to work. And I'm not saying that you should disregard work or responsibility, but I'm saying at the end, my new kind of thing is that if I died today, and replace me in 7 business days. No offense to anyone else, but that's the nature of the business. Right. If I died today, in 7 business days, someone will have my job. And the train will keep moving. And people are hurt, and they're mourning, and all that kind of stuff. And
we all need to live by that.
And sometimes we have to say, like, man, it ain't that serious. This job is not that important. I'm not saying don't show up to your job. What I'm saying is that life is so much bigger than a job. Yeah. And if you were gone today, they'll replace you in 7 business days. So live a little bit, love a little bit more, love a lot more, and don't let life pass you by because of work and things work related and missing those moments.
I think it's me having a kid at my age. Like, I think about that a lot, right? Like, when he graduates high school, I'll be...
It depends. I'm sorry.
I will. I'll be damn near 70. But it's like, I think about that stuff. Like, it'll be cool because I'll be the old guy up in the stands with a cooler of beer watching him at all of his practices because I'll be retired. Yeah. That part's cool, but I think about that. Like, when he graduates college, I probably, if I make it that far, don't have much after that. So, like, death... I don't know if I'm getting emotional in my old age, if it's, because now I got something else to live for. But
you're human.
Yeah. This one hurt, man.
You're human. It bothered me. Like the accumulation of Rayfield, then Dwayne Haskins, who's 24 years old. Be 25.
And that could have happened to anybody, man. Anybody.
And then now, with this, it's like when it's all around you, it begins to kind of bother you a little bit. And I was fighting through some stuff this weekend, just thinking about it, and then you take into your own personal stuff that maybe happened in your own life. It's tough, man, and it's a reminder. It is a reminder that life is fleeting, and it's fast.
Yeah.
Did you know Rayfield very well?
No, not really. I never really had a chance to interview him, but his passing kind of it was a reminder to me that we lost Dan Reeves in the last month. We lost. Ralph Neely here recently. The generation that built the America's Team dynasty. It's they're getting up there in age. It's just as fans and a big follower of this history. It's you just hate to see those guys.
Yeah.
Tough, man. Well, where do we go from here? Sorry to bring the party down.
It's always that tough transition to go from all right.
Yeah.
Again, right? Like this is the thing I'm talking about. Is in 7 business days they'll replace you. It's like, all right, we mourned, and it's like, we still gotta finish this show, guys. All right, so what's on the next topic? But that's life. But again, thoughts and prayers to the Haskins family,
definitely,
the Wright family, and the Brown family. Words can't express what you guys are going through right now, and I just pray the Lord hugs you and comforts you as much as you all need in this time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, 30 visits.
30 visits.
What happened last week?
Well, they brought a few guys in to work out and talk to, and his history's kind of shown that's a good indicator of some of the guys they're looking at. One interesting thing that popped up, one of the blogs that follow these things pretty regularly, which kind of surprised me too, was they invited 4 tight ends into this, which that was like equaled the most of any position they brought in, which kind of surprised me some. But I guess they're maybe not seeing a long term with Schultz. I don't know, or maybe they just think they need more depth. But I don't know. Do you think this is an area of need that we're kind of overlooking?
Now, let me ask you this question. Has Schultz, he's franchised, correct?
And he signed it.
He signed it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. He's like, oh, you're not going to get me. You're not going to pull this thing back from me.
Yeah.
And maybe that is this team saying, we need more depth. They got the news about Jarwin was the hip, right? The hip injury, and that's not looking too good.
Yeah, he may be
for him. And then even when they brought back Jeremy Sprinkle, but even last year when he was here, it was a very he didn't have much of a huge role outside of blocking and being like that extended offensive lineman. So I guess now it's looking at, okay, if we can pick up maybe a tight end later on in the draft that we can kind of work with and develop and maybe turn into something that gives us a little bit of productivity on the offensive end. I know Nate would be here and say, we need a blocking tight end. Well, I think you need more of a pass-catching tight end. You need a guy who's going to be more of a threat. Being that you now lost Ced Wilson and you lost Amari Cooper, you're going to have to find ways to fill in that production. There's a lot of productivity that walked out this door and there are other teams now. And you're going to have to find a way to stretch because, the thing about having Amari on the outside was that you had CD on the inside. And now that you're going to have to kind of seamlessly transition CD to the outside, who's going to fill that slot? As a slot position, and whether that's another receiver, maybe it's a little bit of Tony Pollard, maybe it's a little bit of Schultz or whoever it is, but there has to be a level of production that is filled in that slot position. It is so important because I want to be able to keep that safety in the middle of the field. I want to be able to keep him high. I don't want safety now, not having a fear of being beat down the middle of the field or not having a fear of something coming at them that's a significant threat. And if they don't feel that from somewhere, and from the tape, Schultz doesn't give me that, right? Schultz doesn't give me that deep threat, that controlling the middle. And now, if you're trying to establish a running game and you have nothing to hold those safeties back for even just a second, they come shooting down. That ruins the plan that would have been a 8, 10, 12, 14-yard gain to now being a 4, 6-yard gain and possibly, you having now to punt the ball on third down. And also, if they're not being a threat there, now they can say, we'll just play. We'll play back. We'll play back. We'll shade a guy over to the side of CeeDee Lamb. We don't know what Michael Gallup will be when he gets back. So there's a factor in there that you're going to have to find something that gives you productivity down the middle of the field. So bringing in 4 tight ends, it sounds surprising, but they know that they have to fill that productivity in the middle of the field in a huge way.
Yeah. Well, this might be a dumb question, but what's the relationship like between receivers and tight ends? I mean, tight ends are pass catchers, but they're linemen, and a receiver's kind of like go do your own thing, or.
Yeah, as pass catchers, you try to be on the same page with a lot of different things because there are a lot of times the underneath route that's going to kind of hold a linebacker or to move a linebacker one way or another or hold a safety to give you some access on the outside. But, our relationship with them is no different than our relationship with a running back. No different relationship with, a DB. You try to find the way that you guys can use each other. Get helpful information and tips. Maybe sometime when you come down there, you can communicate. Say, listen, when I come down there, I know I got a block. Hey, you take the big guy. I'll take the next guy. Don't give me the 280-pound guy. Give me the 240 less pound guy to deal with. But there's no link or bond between receivers and tight ends, even at those who are, the pass catching, like the real pass catching type.
We didn't talk about Schultz when he signed his deal. He got what was it, 13? Was it 12-ish million? Something. I'm happy for that guy. There's nobody that works harder than him. Like he's out there every single day after practice on the jugs machine. At training camp, he's out there every single practice running extra laps. He's a good dude, man. And we talked about, I think it was last week or week before last, like guys that love football, that get it, that are doing the work. He's one of the ones that he does the work. Yeah. Like even when nobody's looking, the media's not out there, coaches have already gone in. He's out there doing the work. So I was happy to see him get that money.
Yeah, his first couple years, there was talk, was he going to be a bust or not?
Right.
That year Jarwin was supposed to be the starter, and they're like, man, what's Schultz going to do? Can he handle this? And I know there's some issues with him. Does he have enough speed or whatever to take the top off? That can he control the middle like you were talking about? But he's definitely come a long way than what we expected.
And he's going to have to take another step again because you don't have the presence of guys like Ced Wilson and guys like Amari Cooper. When you're able to get that productivity, because defensively it's 11 on 11, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to give up something. So you're saying, all right, if the quarterback isn't a running quarterback, what other areas are we willing to give up? And you're saying, okay, we're going to give up that guy. We're not going to give up Amari Cooper on the outside. We're not going to give up CeeDee Lamb down the middle. We're going to say we're going to give up the 6-yard route, rally, and tackle, right? So, but now that you don't have that presence of 19 on the outside, 1 on the inside, or wherever he's playing at the Z, now the clamps become a little bit tighter because no one's afraid of you going over the top. There's not really a threat of you going over the top or all of these weapons that you have to account for like you did in the past. They don't fear Ezekiel Elliott anymore. That's not a fear of people anymore. They don't fear. They had a healthy respect for Amari Cooper. He's no longer there. So whoever you add to that spot, if it's CeeDee Lamb, guess what? CeeDee's now going to have to prove himself all over again to the forces on the outside. They're going to say, can he beat my best guy on the outside, down in and down out? And if he can't, by game 6, 7, or 8, people are going to start saying, he ain't what we thought he was. And they'll change how they play against you. Michael Gallup, he's going to miss the first couple of games. And whoever you put in that spot, whether it's Brown or whoever, draft pick, whoever it is, they're going to have to prove themselves. So defensive coordinators and defenders are going to say, these guys haven't proven themselves, so we're going to take way more chances on clamping things down, being more aggressive on coming up and stopping the run and doing all that kind of stuff. Can Schultz work in tighter windows? Can he now work without having other guys taking the top off for him, or defenses now having to pay more attention to the other guys around him? The narrowing of playmakers has lessened for the Cowboys. And so now you have to have a bigger role. Can you step up and have a bigger role in this offense minus the other playmakers around you?
We talked about, or just the last segment, about taking the lineman over the playmaker. Even if the Cowboys have fewer playmakers, will a better line help the playmakers they have, I guess, obviously?
Yes, because it gives them more time to develop, right? There are certain guys who make things happen at a rapid rate, at a faster rate than other guys, right? Those are the elite guys. So they're able to get open faster. They're able to make plays in tighter windows. So all those things happen at a much faster rate. When you don't have that talent, now things have to be much more precise. I need you to get that full 15, right? Because and you may not be as good as getting it as the last guy. So that means I may need an extra half a second or a whole second for that to develop. I need guys to move a little bit quicker. Before they would disguise and maybe come out of that disguise a little bit more because of the fear of getting beat. Now when there's no fear of getting beat, that defender will stay into that disguise a little bit longer and then move out. So I need another second or so to process what has happened post-snap. So yes, the playmakers are important, but if you don't have a lot of playmakers who are able to do things at a much faster rate, then you're going to need a little bit more time for that stuff to process in their minds and in the quarterback mind and deliver the ball to those players downfield.
All right, let's take our last break. Jesse had a tweet over the weekend. He wanted to know who actually gets paid money at the Masters. We did the research.
Interesting.
And found out, and we'll let you know when we come back on the next segment, the last segment of the People Show, Hanging with the Boys.
Brace yourself for an existential question. Has your butt been having enough fun lately? Have you been treating it well? Has it been going places? If not, then it's about time you start using SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the best way to get your butt tickets to live events. Just ask the thousands of other butts who have rated it the #1 ticketing app. So what are you waiting for? Download the app now or visit SeatGeek.com to get tickets to sports, concerts, and live events and make your butt happy. SeatGeek. Get your seat in a seat.
How great would it be to travel to watch the Cowboys win on another team's turf? Pretty great. But honestly, just watching the game from anywhere but your house would be fun. Even a hotel bar with some guy named Phil from St. Louis who thinks Oakland still has a team. So whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
At AT&T, everyone, new and existing customers, get our best deals on every smartphone. Why? Because you deserve it. For turning your living room into your office and your gym. For teaching Grandma how to video call and teaching her again.
It's the button on your left, Nana. Okay, your other left.
It's not complicated. Everyone deserves something new. So AT&T is giving everyone, new and existing customers, our best deals with every unlimited plan on every smartphone, even the latest ones.
AT&T may temporarily slow data speeds if the network is busy. Restrictions and exceptions may apply.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole. Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Welcome back. This Saturday, see unbeaten WBC and IBF welterweight world champion Errol the True Spence Jr. and WBA welterweight world champion, I don't know how to say this guy's name.
Loser.
Yordanis Ugas. Square off in a welterweight championship unification showdown at AT&T Stadium. You do not want to miss this premier boxing championship event. For tickets, visit SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing provider of AT&T Stadium.
I shouldn't have said that about him. He's not a loser. He's going to lose the fight, but he's not a loser.
Right.
I apologize.
I think Errol will return to pre-injury form.
I hope.
Yeah.
This is his first fight back, isn't it? Or does he have one?
I think he had a tune-up. Like it was a chump.
Yeah.
It was a chump.
You going to this, Jesse?
I am.
You're a big boxing guy, aren't you?
I do. I like boxing.
What's your favorite sporting event to go to?
Basketball.
Live. Basketball, college, or pros?
No, pros.
You like pros?
Yeah.
Only if you get good seats?
That's the only way I'm going.
What's the highest you'll sit?
Suite.
What about 200 level?
Where's that at? No, I'm not. No, shit, that came out wrong. That came out wrong. No, I'm not going.
Lower bowl? You got to be in lower bowl?
The only time I go and sit like 200 or above, if I'm taking kids. Like if I'm taking a bunch of kids and all we can get is like that level, then I'll go and sit. But if I'm going by myself,
you got to be close.
10 rows is like 10, 15 rows is like the max.
Like halfway up?
On the for lower level. Yeah, that's max.
Were you a Nets guy or Knicks or anything growing up?
I was too poor to go to anything back then.
I mean, did you follow? Were you fans?
You know what? Yeah, I mean, you followed them. My brothers were heavy Knicks fans. Nets didn't really matter at that point in time. The only time we went to the Nets thing, Nets used to give out, and they had a sponsorship with White Castle.
Ooh.
So you could get like 4 net tickets, a box of 30, Crave pack, soda, French fries, all that kind of good stuff, like $50. So like every once in the blue, like they come to the hood and like just give this stuff away. Like that's how they got people to the Nets game. Like they were just like giving it away, and like come down to the police station and the DARE program or stuff like that, and you would get a chance to go to those games. But a lot of it was like I used to like the Seattle Supersonics back then.
Really?
I used to be a huge Gary Payton fan. Like I used to be a huge. I loved his attitude. Like I just loved the way he was just.
Was he a New York guy?
No, he's a West Coast guy.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah, he's a California dude. I think Oakland. He's an Oakland dude.
Uh-huh.
But I used to love I embodied that. Like I'll show you guys a picture later on of me. I had a bald head and everything.
You did?
Swear, I'll show you. I got a picture of it. I had a bald head and I was like. I'm in this picture and I'm just like mean mugging. I was like, I embodied that just rugged nature. I'm gonna lock you up. I'm gonna harass you. I'm gonna assault you and just talk trash the entire game and looking for a fight. So Gary Payton was one of my favorite players growing up.
What's your favorite live sport?
Live sport?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm a big baseball fan, and so it's obviously a slow pace.
Surprised you're here today.
I know. This should be at Holiday.
It should
Opening
be a
day?
Yeah, it should be a company-wide event.
I'm telling you.
They should take us to opening day every year.
I wish, man.
They did some study. I was listening to one of the local radio stations, and they did a study on the highest priced opening day tickets, and the Rangers are like third.
Really?
Third highest. They're like the average ticket was like $50-something bucks.
Wow.
But here it's a big deal. Like opening day is huge for the Rangers.
Yeah.
Now the rest of the year nobody really cares,
Yeah,
but like
we'll
it's like a holiday.
Yeah.
So surprised you're here.
Well, that's my commitment to you guys.
There you go. Yeah. Team first.
There you go. And that or you just couldn't get tickets. You still got connections over there? Is everybody gone that you?
No,
used
there's
to know?
a couple people I be kind of uncomfortable calling them out of the blue for tickets. But I still know a couple people over there.
That's always the worst when you got an in somewhere and then like either that administration gets fired or moves on or retires. You're like, damn,
gotta find another
way in.
Yep. All right, so you sent out a tweet, want to know who gets paid for the Masters, right?
Yeah.
So the winner this year got paid $2.7 million.
Who's a DFW native?
Yep, went to UT, I believe.
Yeah, Highland Park. I think he's somewhere like that.
What's his name? Scheffler?
Scheffler.
Yeah.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
Talk about lack of commitment.
He said it's remarkable to look back at how the payout for the Masters have changed over the years. In 1934, the winner took home $1,500, which would be roughly $32,000 today. The 50th place finisher this year made $38,000.
The 50th?
Just for making the cut. If you made the cut, you made almost $40,000. $38,000.
So Tiger finished tied for 43rd, right? What did he make? What's the 43rd?
$56,000. More than most people make in a year he made on Sunday. 4 days of work, I guess. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
That's the greatest thing. Like, he does this every day for free. And he just in 4 days, just from, I'm sure he made way other money doing other things in a day as well. But so, man.
Yeah, and then.
So you need to get that son of yours golf club.
I'm gonna teach him how to deep snap. You don't get touched. You don't have to do nothing. Just throw the ball between your legs real hard. That's it. Get you about a 12-year career.
For real.
League minimums, what?
250, 300.
Yeah, and then you get on up there. It's 700 when you get fully vested. That's the life, man.
A couple Pro Bowls, you'll be all right.
Yeah, no stress. Like, I used to think kicker was the way to go. Deep snapper.
Deep snapper.
Because if you're good, you never. Like, LP had, I think, one mistake the whole time he played here. 14 years? Was in Washington when he did the thing he's always done.
That shouldn't have been. That shouldn't have been. Yeah.
So, yeah, deep snapper. The 30th place participant made $102K. The 19th place participant made $210K. 10th place got $405K.
Jeez.
7th made $502K. And then 5th, $600K. 4th, $720K. 3rd, $1.02 million. 2nd, $1.62 million. And the winner, $2.7 million.
And I heard that there was something that, in the golfing world, they're trying to get it to be more like the tennis world, where a bigger portion of the proceeds goes like there's 50 players that get paid.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying, like, let's make it 25 that get
more money.
And you get more money that way. That's why, like, when you see, like, players that win the Australian Open or something like that, they get paid a boatload of money because the prize, it doesn't extend to 50 players. It extends to, like, 25. Okay. Yeah. And then, like, the higher you get up, the more money you get paid. But, I mean, that's a great – I mean, you made almost life-changing money kind of in 4 days.
Man.
Yeah.
2 point what million? You got 2.6.
2.7.
2.7.
I think it was 2 point. Was it 2.7?
Do you guys ever golf?
I used to.
No.
Yeah, I've never got
I used to, and it was because we used to play for free at Cowboys Club if there wasn't a tee time.
Oh.
So we used to.
What happened to people? Stuff just starts. We used to get free tickets for Cowboy time. Nothing.
I know, but
that snatched all that away.
That went away unless you're connected out there. But it got to the point where I got a buddy that had a boat, so it was like, okay, Saturday and Sunday I can get up and go sweat my junk off and hit a ball around the golf course.
Yeah.
Or I can go out to the lake and just post up on a boat and chill out and listen to music and watch the scenery. And I was like, it didn't take me long to give up the old golf game.
Smart.
I haven't played golf in it's probably been about 5 years. I used to play every once in a while.
I was telling you guys in the break, it dawned on me the other day with Tiger Woods. And as much as golf needs Tiger Woods, trust and believe me, Tiger Woods needs golf. Like, just for his it's all he's ever done.
Mm-hmm.
Since a little boy, it's all he knows is golf. Never been, like, really to school, never been to prom, never been to graduation, never been to college, never done any of that stuff. Like, just been a lifer on the golf course. But I find it amazing that Tiger Woods has single-handedly punked so many people and just owned the color red on Sunday. No one wears red on Sunday because Tiger Woods decided that on Sundays I will wear a red shirt and black pants, and this will be my Sunday outfit. And no other golfer was like, screw you, bro. Red's my favorite color too. And I'm wearing red on Sunday as well. Yeah. And I'm wearing black pants, just like you. And that just blows my mind that he's that big of a golf giant. And he is, rightfully so. He has all the credentials to say so. But you just can't punk me out of a complete color like on Sunday. Nobody wears. Not that I'm not the most golf intelligent person around. I didn't see any golf shirts on red golf shirts on Sunday.
I want to say there was one guy. This was probably been 15 years ago. There was one guy going into Sunday that was like him and Tiger were battling out, and I think he wore red on Sunday just that point.
Trying to mess with it.
Yeah, like you're not getting in my head. Watch this. I'm gonna have to look that up. I think I remember that.
Yeah. He probably apologized. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My wardrobe. I picked the wrong shirt. I thought I mismanaged my shirts.
I think he did it on purpose. I think he was a international player. I can't remember. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah.
That's gonna. Yeah.
But I always thought that was funny. I'm just like, who?
That's a good point.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I can't say who are you, but he's Tiger Woods. But I'm like, you don't own Crayola. Like you didn't make the color red. Like this isn't right. It's like you don't have copyrights to the color red on Sunday. But I mean,
I think somebody's sponsor would like have red in it or something. They'd be like, hey, you got to wear red for us or something.
They're probably like, nah. What about maroon? What about magenta?
Masters. Any desire to go to the Masters?
Oh, I'd just to experience the course, sure.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to spend the thousands of dollars it would take to get there. No.
About you? Any desire? No?
Mm-mm.
I heard it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. Just to, it'd be like one of those, like going to Lambeau.
Just to say you went?
Yeah, just saying.
Yeah.
I'd been there. But I don't golf. I don't watch golf. I don't really care about golf. So.
Yeah.
Would you want to go?
I'd go, just like Kurt, for the experience. But I'm not there. Like, there's some guys that work here that are huge golf fans. Huge, like, watching it on their phone, Thursday and Friday while they're up there at work. I didn't say their names.
Don't snitch.
I didn't say their names.
Snitch.
But I'm not really into it that much. Like, if I was better at golf, I'd probably be into it a little bit more. But I'm just so bad. It's a social event for me. It's a reason to
Where's
go.
the beer cart?
Drink beer outside.
Now, I have gone to a couple of Byron Nelsons when they used to have it down here.
Oh, yeah.
In, about the Four Seasons in Las Colinas. Now, that was...
Did you leave the tent? Did you even go out on the course?
Never.
You don't
Never.
Yeah, I've been one time and I never saw a stroke of golf.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I've been with like a couple different, like I've been with like BBVA. I've been with like a couple big sponsors that's been out there, and you forget that golf is even being played.
Yeah.
Like
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't even matter.
Live band in the tent.
It doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
It is.
You've been out there?
Oh yeah, I hadn't been in several years, but that
It
used to
is
be.
the party of all.
Yeah.
Like, and everybody like parties. Like not just the fellas.
Yeah.
The ladies get to have a good time as well.
It was a S show, at the highest degree. It was awesome. All right, fellas.
Yes, sir.
Good
If
seeing
cops
you,
wanted to
Kurt.
pull people over, all you have to do is sit out the Byron Nelson, and you would rack up on 100 DUI tickets, 1,000.
Easy.
Easy.
They used to bus them in for the stadium. That's when we used to get to go for free, is when they would park at Texas Stadium.
Oh.
They would run the shuttles from there, and they would let them use that as their lot, so they give all the employees free tickets. So we used to get the hookup.
Nice.
Jesse, good seeing you.
Yes.
Kurt, thanks for
sir.
not going to opening day and being here.
Go Tar Heels.
Jazz,
Still.
thanks for keeping us on the air in Chris's absence. We appreciate
Jazz.
Good job.
Yeah, Jazz.
Will, thanks for keeping the live streams up. We will be back next Monday.
Bro, Will, what up?
The People Show, Hanging with the Boys. See you.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!